Empires forged by a single extraordinary mind share a hidden, fatal weakness. They become dependent on the genius that created them. When Hammurabi of Babylon died around 1750 BCE, he left behind a titan, a kingdom stretching over 80,000 square kilometers, a unified government, and a legal code so advanced it would echo for millennia. But as historian Paul Krivicek puts it, the Mesopotamian political tradition was one of charismatic authority. A kingdom was held together by the personal prestige of its king, and Hammurabi, the lawgiver, the conqueror, the master administrator, overlooked one critical problem. He did not leave another Hammurabi. The throne passed to his son, Samsu-iluna. On paper, the inheritance was staggering. The keys to Babylon, the world's most magnificent city, a bureaucracy of loyal governors and scribes, the lifeblood of the empire intricate irrigation networks that made the desert bloom. But this stability was a mirage. Hammurabi had spent 43 years building his empire. His successors would spend the next 150 years watching it unravel. The empire's fragility was exposed almost immediately. In the 9th year of Samsu-iluna's reign, a man named Rin-Sin II ignited a massive rebellion across the south. The ancient, proud cities of Ur, and Larsa, once independent kingdoms, now resentful vassals, rallied to his cause. They obeyed Hammurabi out of fear. With him gone, they sensed weakness. Samsu-iluna responded with fire and steel. For 5 grueling years, Babylonian armies marched south. But victory came at a devastating cost. As historian Mark van de Meijerroep explains, the warfare had a catastrophic ecological consequence. Southern Mesopotamia's prosperity was built on a delicate web of irrigation canals. When these were neglected or destroyed during the fighting, the salt content of the soil, a persistent problem in the region, rose to toxic levels. Fields that once fed thousands dried to dust. Archaeological evidence confirms this grim story. Urban life in cities like Ur collapsed. Entire settlements were abandoned, some for 1,000 years. Samsu-iluna had won the war, but in doing so, he had destroyed the economic heartland of his own empire. It wasn't just land that Babylon was losing. Its economy was bleeding out. The south had provided the vast majority of the empire's grain surplus. Without it, tax revenues plummeted. The silver that once flowed into Babylon's treasury slowed to a trickle. This economic shock was compounded by a new external pressure. Along the empire's eastern frontier, in the Zagros Mountains, a people known as the Kassites began to stir. According to scholar Amanda Padani, we should see them not just as raiders, but as a tribal group migrating in search of land and opportunity. They were horsemen, a military technology that gave them speed and surprise. In the 20th year of his reign, Samsu-iluna faced a Kassite invasion so significant he was forced to divert his attention from the south. He repelled them, but it was a sign of things to come. The Kassites saw an empire weakening, a power vacuum forming. They were patient. After Samsu-iluna's 38-year reign, a succession of kings sat on the throne of Babylon, but they ruled over a steadily shrinking kingdom. The historical record itself begins to fade. This is what Mark van de Meijerroep terms the Great Silence. The once bustling administrative archives fall quiet. We have fewer economic documents, fewer legal texts, fewer letters. It is the eerie, textual ghost of a complex state breaking down. The decline was not just political. The abandonment of the South triggered a demographic shift. Refugees likely fled north, putting pressure on the remaining cities. Culturally, however, Babylon remained a beacon. As Paul Krivicek emphasizes, the *** of Babylon was becoming more powerful than its political reality. Its temples were still vital centers of worship, its scribes dutifully copying the Epic of Gilgamesh. The city was becoming a holy place, a vessel of civilization, even as its empire crumbled. By 1595 BCE, the kingdom of Babylon was a shadow of its former self. And then, an enemy no one expected appeared from the distant north. The Hittites, under their aggressive king Mursili. The Hittites had forged a powerful empire in Anatolia. In the analysis of Trevor Bryce, the foremost expert on the Hittites, their goal was not conquest. Babylon was too far from their homeland to occupy. Their goal was a demonstration of power, and above all, plunder. In a shocking, lightning campaign, the Hittite army marched 1,200 miles down the Euphrates. They smashed the weakened Babylonian defenses, sacked the invincible city, and plundered its immense wealth. The golden statues of Marduk, Babylon's patron god, were hauled away as trophies. The dynasty of Hammurabi, which had ruled for 3 centuries, was extinguished forever. The Hittites turned and left as quickly as they came, leaving a power vacuum. The Kassites, who had been waiting patiently at the borders for generations, moved in. They would seize control of Babylon and rule for over 400 years. The old Babylonian empire was dead, but strangely, Babylon itself would survive. Because while an army can burn a city and topple a dynasty, it cannot destroy an idea. The legacy of Hammurabi's law and Babylon's culture was just beginning.